What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the DX Gamer Show. I'm Operation DX, and welcome to episode 33 of my Planet Explorers version 0.72 Let's Play. This is the final episode in the series. During the previous episode, I kind of outlined 3 things that I might do in this final episode, and I kind of left it up to you guys in the comments, and it seems like you guys wanted me to do all of it, so that is absolutely fine, and that's what we'll be doing for this episode. So what I'm going to do is, for the first phase, I'm going to wrap up the colony structure here, kind of tidy things up, and then I'll finish up the bunker, put some furniture in there, show you some of the things that you can place down in your colony, which is super cool. And then in the previous video, I actually showed you the creations editor, which gives you the ability to create custom furniture and that kind of thing, which is super awesome, but that is not in this version of the game, so I can't do anything like that. For the second phase of this episode, I will go around and ask people to live in my colony, and then I'll assign them tasks and see what jobs we can give them. And then finally, to wrap up this episode, I'll head over to the boss fight that I left in the previous episode, and we'll just finish those guys off, and that'll wrap things up for this Let's Play series. This isn't necessarily the final episode that you're going to see on my channel, as this game is still in alpha, and there's probably a lot of content that's going to come out for this, including story stuff and probably additions to the colony and stuff I've been talking about throughout this series. However, what I'll probably end up doing in the filler time, or meantime, is I'll be probably doing update videos every once in a while for Planet Explorers, just like I do with some other alpha games that I've purchased in the past, like 7 Days to Die and stuff. If you watch my channel regularly, you're aware that I do this from time to time. It's kind of sad I haven't had time to check out 0.75 too deeply, the new story elements, the stuff added to the colony. I mean, that's the stuff that I'm super excited about, and I can't wait to see what additions the developers decide to make in that area of the game. Especially some of the stuff they were showing in the Kickstarter looked especially interesting. So I'm kind of placing some of the things you haven't seen throughout the game yet here. Like we just noticed I placed down a door, and I don't think I've at this point got the script for that. I've also added some furniture items into my inventory, and you get those by defeating those 3 bosses and then talking to Ava, and she actually has the furniture and stuff you can add to your colony. That stuff's really great, but to save time, because I haven't done that yet, I'm actually did what I said I was not going to do in the beginning, but because we're wrapping things up in this episode, I figured it would probably be not a terrible idea to actually kind of show some of the furniture items and stuff that's available in the game. So I went ahead and opened up the global market and bought some of those off there. Now, it's not like remember how in the beginning I said I thought it was like a cheat kind of thing, and I still kind of feel that way, especially for story mode. But for this instance, that kind of thing, you don't get it for free. You actually have to pay, meat for that kind of thing. But I just didn't like the fact that you could just open up the market at any point in time, and buy whatever you needed. I mean, because we could have just started off, we could have bought the laser pistol, and we could have just owned everything, and it wouldn't have made things fun. There would have been no progression at all, and I didn't want to do that. So, and I took my time in the beginning, I know it annoyed some of you guys, but I thought it was best to do that kind of thing where you show, you move slowly across the landscape, you're slowly hunting things, you're slowly collecting things. I tried to go easy on the mining. You get your vehicles and you start moving across the landscape quicker, and I think that's just, I think that was a good way to go about it. When I was playing around with the creations editor, I kind of got these ideas of how I could make these cream-colored light blocks kind of more interesting looking by, building something specifically for them to fit them in, because if you recall in that video, I stuck one of them on top of a table that I actually ended up building too small. It was unintended, but that's what I ended up doing. But yeah, you could probably do something really cool. Like, I just don't like that they're just light blocks. And again, I love light stuff, and Space Engineers, like when I'm playing that, I like placing lights everywhere. You just gotta be careful when you do that because it starts to bog things down. It makes it harder on the computer to actually process all the lighting and reflections and all that kind of thing. But I like to go overboard. But right now, there's only these and those blue ones, those blue light sticks, which only turn on late night, you know? So, it'd be nice to have more of that kind of thing. Little lights, maybe lamps, that kind of thing. These things are a little too big to use for lamps, but you could fake it by building something in the user-created content kind of thing. I don't know why, but every time I do stuff like this, where I'm placing furniture around in some kind of place that I've created, I want to start playing The Sims. I'm getting to the point where, like, I'm almost wanting to play The Sims 3, because I'm getting a little too impatient to wait for The Sims 4, even though it's like a few months away. There are some other games to probably keep me occupied, and I don't want to burn out because when I start playing The Sims, dude, I go crazy. I like buckle down for like couple weeks straight, you know what I'm saying? Like hardcore playing the game as many hours as I can possibly put in, that kind of thing. I don't know, man. I'm a big fan of that game. Big fan of the series. One thing that kind of puts me off, though, from playing The Sims 3 is because I have like all the expansions, and I don't know what particular expansion it was, or if it was like the core game. But, I mean, the game had been out for a long, long time, and there was still quite a few problems with the game, and it took EA a really long time to fix those problems. And one of them isn't fixed as far as I know. It's like the save game bloating problem. Now, there are some mod tools I think you can install to like help that kind of thing, but the deterrent factor is the fact that like I invest all this time developing your family and your neighborhood, and then you might want to play your kids, and just gets bigger and more bloated, and then it just breaks at some point, and you gotta make regular backups, so like that's like a massive deterrent. Yeah. Anyway. Well, I think I'm happy with my barracks building. I'm just going to add a couple of final touches. And I don't want to spend the entire episode here working on this thing. However, for this final episode, I did record about an hour and a half of footage. And I'm kind of cutting around here because I definitely need to do that, because I want to make sure I covered all the areas pretty well here. So we are off, and we're going to go pick up some people to work in our colony. So, first place I head off to is the Carter camp, and of course this is all going to be edited so I can get this done pretty quickly. And there are some aspects that, even though I did this, I could not figure out how to get people to do certain things. Particularly, I wanted to have people to be able to go out and cut down trees. And I think you could have them do something else. I couldn't remember. Besides the normal stuff like run the enhancement module, run the repair module. If you have colonists assigned to those things, they make them go faster, and that's pretty awesome. But I wanted to see if I could get them to do some of the other things. And it seems like certain colonists have certain skills and abilities. And it's kind of random here, because every time I think you start up a new game, I think the people that you can get into your colony, it's like randomized, and you can't bring in mainline NPCs into your colony, so that is something I'm not sure if it was added into 0.75 or not either. Also in this version, you have a limited number of amount of people and buildings you can set up in your colony, and at this time I think you can only set up one colony, which is a shame because I wanted to go buck crazy and set up a couple. But again, I didn't want to go too crazy because, as I expressed, even in the beginning of the series, it's an alpha, and I don't want to go super crazy building stuff, then a new version comes out, everything's incompatible, and it turns out I was right, because it seems that 0.72 save files are not compatible with 0.75, so it's a good thing I didn't go super, super crazy here with my colony and all that. Well, I landed back at my colony here, and I hired all the people that I could hire at this time. I can only have 4. And now I'm going to have to shovel some more coal back into my power plant so that it operates again. And I've already expressed my kind of concerns about that, and my wishes for it to be improved, that kind of thing, whether the NPC could grab coal from storage and actually keep the power plant running, or some other way to upgrade the power plant where it runs more efficiently, that kind of thing. But I do want to add one final building to the colony here, which is the storage module. And when you're reading up about how the colony operates, the game suggests that your colonists need food, and of course that's why you build the garden and all that stuff. So I put that in here, but I don't know if this stuff is even functioning or working here. So here are the 4 NPCs that I've got, and you can see they all have like special skills. They all have different skills. One seems to be a medic, one seems to be, you know, good at defense, one seems to be good at firearms, that kind of thing. So I'm going to go ahead and just assign them to a couple of these buildings. And you can see on the side here, it doesn't look like we can do anything else besides assign them to the enhancement module, the storage module, or the repair module. So here you can see my NPCs working at the different modules that I had assigned them at, and I don't even know what they do when you do assign them to the storage module. So if you assign them to the storage module, do they go out and cut down trees? That's something I just don't know. So just for grins, I decided to go ahead and load up my storage bin with food here. And I guess I could spend a little time running the game to see if this actually affects anything, because I honestly don't know if any of these things are actually functional in the game at this time. Before I head off and go do the boss fight with the 3 big giant robot guys, I kind of want to show you something I've been talking about, the lighting and stuff, and the way the thing looks at night. Unfortunately, I don't have a ton of lights. I would have actually lit this place up like crazy to kind of give an example, but I think this is kind of a good enough example. And throughout the Let's Play series, I pretty much just slept at night, so just to keep the game lit so you didn't have to like run through areas of the game and you didn't see anything, because before I did this Let's Play, I watched other people's Let's Play, and you just really can't see anything at night, and it was really bad when like you're going through and you're trying to like see what the game's all about, and like it's all at night, you know. So I definitely didn't want to do that for my Let's Play series. But anyway, here's what it kind of looks like at night, all lit up. I think it looks really, really cool. All right, enough of that. We are on our way to do this boss fight, and this is almost the end of the game here. There's a couple more things of dialogue, and well, I'm not going to be doing that, but we're just going to do the fight here to wrap things up. This is a fun fight. There's 3 big bosses here. You can easily get your butt kicked. They only have to hit you like twice with their lasers, and something like this happens. Fortunately, though, I have plenty of revive packs on me. I actually had to fly away for a second and recoup and build some more medical packs, because I was running low on them, and you can't really fight these guys unless you have that kind of thing. But I also want to experiment a little bit and try these turrets out, because the first time I did this, well, pretty much all 3 times I did this when I played through the game, I did not use the turrets. I just kind of used my laser blasters with a bunch of batteries and just kited the guys, and you can win pretty easily that way. I didn't have any problems. I ran into problems here because I spent the time trying to build the platforms around these guys. Now, you have to build these platforms because the laser turrets will not just go right on the ground. So here I'm placing them, and they're doing their damage, but it's really tough to get these things in optimal range while you're fighting these guys. And it seems like these robots have a much larger range than your turrets do. So, you can't see the other robots, but they're kind of hiding behind the building. There's one to the left there, but there are 3 here. I think, yeah, I haven't taken out. So this is the first one I'm fighting here. So this is kind of an interesting fight. You're going to try to like aggro them and pull them off to the side. So here you can see I've already taken out the first robot, and then we get the second robot kind of coming towards me. And again, I die. It's easy to do when you're like trying to tinker around with these turrets. It actually makes the situation much worse and much harder. In fact, it would be so much easier if you could just place these turrets down, flat down on the ground. But unfortunately, you cannot do that. So just some experimentation here, trying to place these things down. I built the final platform. I'm like, all right, this is my last ditch effort. I got the missile launchers and that. But another cool thing is when the boss attacks the platforms that you build, he destroys it, and if it destroys like some of the area around the turret will no longer fire. So they're not only getting damaged by his attacks, but also if they're not on a clean, flat surface, they'll just flat out stop working. These ones are cool too outside of the first big robot you fight, because the first big robot's actually missing both of his arms, and the robot has a couple of additional attacks that you don't see when you're fighting that thing. And of course, when you take these guys down, they have some pretty good stuff in their inventory. I would just like to take a second and thank you guys for hanging out, watching the series, for all the comments and suggestions. It's been a fun ride for this one, but that's going to wrap things up for this series. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Have a great day and take care.